If I'm being honest, I did not feel like making this video today. I was thinking of just giving up, honestly. It's where I was like, man, why am I going to continue to make these videos? What the fuck is the point of creating these videos? And then it dawned on me, don't give up on yourself, because where you are right now is really about to explode and you're about to go up to the next level. And I feel like a lot of times when we feel defeated, let's say you're somebody like me, you recently graduated school, you've been going through all this, unemployment, you've been dealing with all these different, mental issues or depression, or maybe you're switching careers, or maybe you left a relationship, or maybe you're just unknown of where you're going to go in your life. A lot of the times we can fail to forget all the progress that we've made getting to where we are. And even more so, we forget the fact that sometimes our full-time jobs are different things. So, I got caught up a lot of the times, and man, I gotta hustle, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta da da da, and not realize that, you know what, this is a full-time job. Creating content, putting it out there, doing what I've loved since I was 5. And I always tell myself that, you know what, you're doing this because you really love it, and it's a true gift of yours. And when we think about giving up sometimes, we forget that, hey, listen, you don't have to be going down the same path as everybody else to make it to where you want to go, or make it to what you want to get out of it, or what you want to get to in your life. You don't have to follow your friends and follow your family and follow society and all these different things. A lot of times I got so caught up with the critical voice in my head from listening to society and the conditioning and all these things that I thought I was wrong. I thought I was crazy for doing what I'm doing. But I realized this is a part of my journey, and I don't want my journey to look like anybody else's. I want my journey to look like Tyson. And I want you to take a little minute just right now, take a little breath, do a little whoo, and then just allow yourself to say with your own name, Tyson, I am proud of you for where you are and where you stand right now in this moment. Okay? Because here's the thing. A lot of the times we bully ourselves. We think that the critical voice in our head is actually us when it's not. Really, that's mama, that's daddy, that's society, that's other things that aren't you, that are criticizing you. Oh, you should not have did this. Oh, why it's taking you so long? Oh, you're comparing yourself, or you remember some conversation where you were compared to, and now you feel even worse about yourself. You have to realize that you woke up today. You made a decision to get up out of your bed. You made a decision to watch this video. You made a decision to better yourself. So you're already on the best track that you could possibly be on. So while you are on this journey, while you are doing these things, while you are taking care of yourself, you have to realize that you were the one who have already been winning. You have already been doing your best every day. You are trying to do your best. Whether it's changing old behaviors, changing old patterns, cutting old exes off or friends off, or whatever it is, just so that you can breathe and bring more good things into your life. You can breathe and bring more good room and good energy. You can open up to what you actually need and not chasing what you thought you wanted. Okay? Because girl, I've been there too. All right? Let's talk about it. But I want you to understand that, like, for real, you are doing an excellent job. And how many times do we tell ourselves that? We prayed for moments to be exactly where we are now. And sometimes even when we think that we're not doing good enough from a material standpoint, because a lot of this world, especially America, is based off of, if you don't have these things materially, if you don't have these things physically, then bitch, you ain't shit. And that's not true. You are the shit. Clearly, because you're just different. You're doing your own thing. I said this before. Inner work is full-time. This channel is full-time. Everything that I'm doing to better myself is already a full-time job in itself. So don't feel bad if you don't have the job of your dreams, if you aren't doing what everybody else is doing. Do not feel bad if your days and your routines are different from everyone else and it makes you look crazy. My grandma always used to tell me that I'm nothing like any of my other cousins or her grandkids. And I never understood that until I got to a place where I started to reflect and realize it's actually okay. I do a lot of things by myself, and not because I don't have nobody to hang out with. I just literally enjoy my own company, and I don't force anything on anybody. So people will call me, or they'll see me out in public and they'll be, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, you're by yourself? Hell yeah, I'm by myself, you know? And I used to feel weird about that because I was like, why do I do all these things by myself? It's because I love myself. I'm comfortable with myself. I'm happy with myself. Why do I feel like, oh, when I make these videos and it's just such a waste of time, and why am I doing this? And I need to go get a job. I need to do all these things. And it's like, what I need will come at the right time. I no longer feel embarrassed because I'm not at the marker of where other people are or what other people expected me to be at a certain time in my life. It's none of my business. My business is to focus on my own happiness. My business is to focus on what I got going on today, what I got to do today. Sometimes our past can crowd us up and think that, oh my God, the future is going to be the same way. We're going to have the same financial struggles. We're going to have the same, shitty job. We're going to have the same, depression or whatever it is, or be single, whatever you're going through. That is not true. And we have to get quiet and we have to get present with ourselves to say, hey, look, you've come a long way. Fuck people's opinions. Fuck the inner critic. Fuck all of that stuff. You've done the best that you can do with what you know right now, and that is it. And like I said before, the fact that you got up today and you decided that you wanted to do better for yourself, that's enough. I didn't feel like making this video, like I said, but I did it anyway because I said, I can't give up on myself. When I was 5 years old, I never told y'all this, probably, maybe in another video, but when I was 5, I used to preach outside in the house that I grew up in, to the trees and the grass. I was always connected to nature, I guess back then, but even more now. I'm always outside. And so I realized that came from somebody that I was inspired by, and I just thought that the way that they delivered their messages was just really, really interesting. And I always take that example of my life when I was 5, when I was inspired by someone and I came home and I practically pretended to be them. How great it was for me to just be myself, and how I've always had a voice that attracts people. I've always had a voice that is powerful. I've always had a voice that just brings me opportunities. I always say that I'm going to be paid millions and multi-millions of just speaking, just using my voice, because it is so unique and it is so interesting. And when kids made fun of my voice for being too raspy when I was little, or when I was in high school, when I was in middle school, when people made fun of me for making videos on Instagram and videos on YouTube and videos on TikTok, I learned that is actually my secret superpower. So when you feel down because you're not like everyone else and you start to give up on yourself, you have to realize that is unique. Whatever somebody's making fun of you for, whether it is you want to be a teacher, you want to be an artist, you want to do whatever, do not give up on that, because those miserable, critical people have nothing better to do with their lives but criticize you and make you feel that there's something wrong with you when there's not. If anything, you actually inspire these motherfuckers, okay? So don't do that. And anywhere you are in your life right now, just be proud of yourself. Just allow yourself to say, I did this. I did this. It might not have been easy, but I did it. I've had a lot of conflict in the last almost 2 years of me being back home. But I've realized that throughout all of that, no matter what relationship type it was, I always did my best to make sure that those relationships were handled with respect from my end. And as long as I did that, I became at peace with that. And no matter what people have said, I love myself and I'm proud of what I am and who I am and where I am. And I still do what I need to do now, okay? You got to have common sense in this whole personal development, spiritual game, because there's some people who do live in la woo-woo land, you know what I mean? You got to still do what you got to do in the world, but still believe in those dreams and that stuff that your soul is conjuring up in you, the stuff that you do that brings you happiness and ease and it just flows to you. It's going to be all right. If you need any help, make sure that you look at my description box down below. I do have an Amazon storefront with a bunch of different resources for you to use. I have a couple links up in the cards as well. And I have one-on-one coaching, excuse me, that's down below as well. But remind yourself every day, and even all throughout today, I'm doing the best I can, and that's it. I don't feel embarrassed no more about where I am in my life. I don't feel embarrassed anymore about who I am, because I love this person. I'm proud of this person. I'm grateful for this person. And as long as I'm doing that, as long as I'm grateful, as long as I'm kind, as long as I'm loving towards myself, that's all that matters. My attachment is to focus on my happiness and my peace. My attachment is to focus on my joy. That's where I am right now. So if you feel low, if you feel like giving up, if you feel down about your life, know that it's only temporary. If you're not seeing the material things you want to see in your life right away, know that it's only temporary. This won't last forever. And be grateful and proud of what you've already accomplished. Do not force yourself to do things because that little voice in your head is in fear of all these other things that ain't got nothing to do with you. Other people don't have anything to do with you. Other agendas don't have anything to do with you. Anything that isn't tied to you and who and how you truly really feel, it has nothing to do with you. So be proud of you, be grateful, and continue to know that you are about to really elevate. You're about to really go big, and it just takes you having to remind yourself that I am good enough right where I am. I am good because I have done everything that I can when it's been hard, when you didn't feel like doing the inner work, when you didn't feel like applying to that job, when you didn't feel like, leaving those relationships and cutting off those situations, when you felt a lot of shame and guilt for leaving things that no longer served you, but you still did it anyway. That's growth. That's strength. Especially if it was something or someone you was attached to for so long, because I had that. But that's growth and that's strength. So be proud of yourself, okay? And with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.